Will you provide this committee with those documents?
Those documents are of this.
Alberta is pissed. Welcome back to Moose and Loose. My name's David. Today we've got full-blown revolt coming from Alberta after Mark Carney's phony baloney pipeline. I'm an Albertan born and raised, and I can tell you the people of Alberta are not gullible to Mark Carney's 600% carbon tax increase pipeline MOU memorandum agreement that will never get built. We've also got a bombshell story here of a $1 billion contract that the Carney Liberals just approved to have America manage one of our most sensitive industries. And would you believe it? In the filming of this video, I uncovered another bombshell of what's going on here in Canada. Let's jump into this. Starting this one off, we've got thousands of foreigners' criminal convictions forgiven by Ottawa over an 11-year span, raising transparency concerns. That's right. It says there's 17,500 criminal convictions erased by the Liberals, and Ottawa still refuses to tell us the crimes that they forgave. No wonder we have so much crime in our country. We also got this Ukraine story blowing up. So I showed in the previous video, Zelensky and numerous members of his cabinet all wrapped up in corruption, scandal, skimming money off of nuclear facilities out there. And Yermak, which is Vladimir Zelensky's right-hand man on everything. Looking through his tweets here, you can see mentions of Melanie Jolie. We got Mark Carney. We got Justin Trudeau expressing gratitude towards Canada. Natalie Drulin. Another Melanie Jolie just over and over. An interesting point being brought up by Jasmine here is Chrystia Freeland, I showed this footage a couple days ago, just went over to Ukraine. She's now the Ukraine envoy or whatever. And here she is sitting directly across from this guy who just had to resign for corruption, and literally, what, a day or two later, this all blows up? She was sitting across from the guy. Something fishy is going on there. Maybe they're all meeting over there because their laundry machines are just so good. So we've got numerous people like Embrandt here digging up vintage clips. Here we got Trudeau, Melanie Jolie over in Ukraine.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced new weapons and equipment for Ukraine during an unannounced visit to Kyiv on Sunday. He said Canada was imposing new sanctions on Russians in connection with Moscow's invasion of Ukraine. He also reopened the Canadian embassy in the capital.
Today I'm announcing more military assistance, drone cameras, satellite imagery, small arms, ammunition, and other supports, including funding for demining operations.
Oh, Trudeau. He gave 20 some odd $1 billion of taxpayer money over to this corrupt government. Where did our money go? Nobody knows. Moving ahead, we've got Elizabeth May at the Green Party convention. No, really?
Hey, Elizabeth May, I'm here in Kitchener for the Green Party of Kitchener AGM because, we never needed the Green Party as much as we need it now.
Yeah, look at all the Green Party members. So many of them. Moving ahead, we've got Mark Carney's phony baloney memorandum agreement in Alberta blowing up. Albertans not happy with this. So we've got Pierre Poilievre posting this here. Get out of the way. The Honorable Pierre Poilievre, leader of the opposition, stating a conservative government would approve a pipeline to the Pacific without a carbon tax, without delay, without excuses, period. Conservatives want stronger take-home pay, self-reliant economy for Canadians. Meanwhile, what is Mark Carney and Tim Hodgson bragging about? How low carbon, how net zero, reducing emissions. They don't care about bringing prosperity. It's not even something they're trying to do. They're not trying to increase Canadians' paychecks or bring in more jobs. Today's memorandum does not promise a pipeline will be built. It promises that 7 months from now, a pipeline proposal will be referred to a federal office for 2 years of study. After that, the Prime Minister will award BC NDP's Premier the power to veto it altogether, a veto that violates the Constitution. And on top of that, they'll be jacking up carbon taxes in the meantime. Mark Carney took this opportunity to get what he wants, to further de-risking net zero, boost the carbon credit system, and get all his chess pieces in place here. And with that, we have Albertans absolutely pissed off. We've got Kirk posting this. While conservatives in Alberta are so done with all the nonsense from Ottawa, they made it clear here at the UCP AGM. So I'll show you two angles here, a closer one of Danielle Smith afterwards. As she gets booed on the stage. So I don't know what he's saying, you can't hear it, but...
They've cut the mic.
Oh, they cut the mic.
An independent Alberta within a united Canada.
Danielle Smith, she's getting booed. I mean, they need to learn their lesson. They did those town halls. That kid was speaking. They cut the mic. Like, it just looks bad. You shouldn't be cutting the mic unless somebody's swearing or being overly vulgar. Here's another angle of Danielle Smith getting booed.
As you know, I support a strong and sovereign Alberta within a united Canada. I know we might have a bit of a difference of opinion on that, but I hope people today feel a lot more confident that Canada works than they did a couple of days ago.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. So talking about booze. Yeah. I know. We heard the meeting, people were like, wow. And we know this group is pretty against the idea of working with Canada, but that shows you how much.
I mean, Albertans have been getting backstabbed since I was a kid. They said it on CBC yesterday. They just realized, and they even admitted they just realized that oil is a part of the DNA, the image, the upbringing of Albertans. When I was a kid living in Stettler, you drive out of town, you see Hutterites, you see the Amish out there, and then drive a little bit further, 10 minutes out of town, and you see the oil wells, the pumps out there. It's part of life out there. So many people's businesses and livelihoods are tied to the oil and gas industry. It's part of the DNA of having a prosperous life. And the Liberal government, the Trudeau family, has been an absolute terror on Alberta for decades. And here we have Mark Carney coming out saying increasing carbon taxes 600% because he wants to make more money on his stocks, on his Brookfield funds. Like, all of this should be illegal. But what we saw here with this group of people, this only represents a few hundred people, but I can only imagine the Albertans at home are not happy with 600% increased carbon taxes. As Pierre pointed out in his letter here, this will get pushed to the project's office in 6 months, then it'll get reviewed for 2 years. It's not going to happen. They're not doing a pipeline. This is just to appease Alberta and pretend they're doing something. He promised projects with things previously thought impossible at speeds we've never seen in generations. He promised to build now, and yet it's been 8 months and still nothing but press conferences and paper shuffling. Mark Carney is a liar, and he's a traitor to Canada. Moving ahead, we've got this one from Corey Tokshire, Saskatchewan conservative. So I showed a brief clip of this a couple days ago. Well, now this is blowing up. We've got Carney sells out and buys American to manage Canada's nuclear labs. This press release here this week, while the Minister of Natural Resources was trying to defend Canada's decision to award management of Canada's strategic nuclear laboratories to an all-American consortium, Canadian Nuclear Laboratories is the historic birthplace of the Canadian nuclear power and performs not only cutting-edge nuclear research, but also produces life-saving medical isotopes such as these things here, cobalt-16, molybdenum-99, and actinium-225. Cobalt and the actinium are both used in cancer treatments, and the molybdenum is used in medical imaging. These are pretty important things, especially giving control over that to another country. But their crucial research is at risk. The Liberals will reportedly pay their hand-picked all-American consortium $1.2 billion per year to take over the management of CNL. This is disgraceful what's going on here. Everything and anything getting shipped to America or out of the country just so Carney and his buddies can get rich. And we know that because Mark Carney's invested in this. Of course he is. So here we have Canadian Nuclear Laboratories. This is what we're talking about. They've been doing studies and looking into this for months now. What do we have here? Update on contract transition of management for Canadian nuclear technologies. Following a competitive procurement process, AECL announced that Nuclear Laboratories Partners in Canada, Inc. has been selected as the preferred bidder, yada, yada, yada. And it says right here, a partnership with 3 primary joint venture partners, BWX Technologies. If you're a longtime follower of the channel, you know Mark Carney's invested in that company. There's a couple other ones here, Amentium Environment and Energy and Kinetrix. So we've got it right here. BWXT-led team awarded Canadian Nuclear Laboratories contract from Atomic Energy of Canada Limited. This is a direct conflict of interest. The contract for this has been reviewed multiple times now. While I don't have it on Carney's direct conflicts of interest one pager here yet, it will go on here. But we already have under the Darlington small modular reactor conflicts of interest here is BWX Technology. So it's just the same company with another business venture. I have a theory of what's going on, but first let's jump over to committee here to add some context.
You promised a Canada Strong, elbows up platform. Remember that? Yet before the dust had even settled on the election, a multi-year, multi-billion-dollar contract was awarded to U.S. companies, allowing Americans to carry out a corporate raid on our strategic nuclear research assets at CNL. Did you approve this transaction?
That characterization of the contract is completely inaccurate.
That's a yes. He approved that contract.
Minister, we'll try something else if it's not that. But will you undertake to provide the committee with the dates of every time you were briefed about this decision and any memos you received explaining it?
So the way this works is there is an RFP that gets issued.
I understand on the contract. We'll get back to that. But will you provide this committee with those documents? Yes or no?
Those documents are done by an independent agency. It is not the purview of this.
Count the amount of ahs, and you can pretty much correlate that with how big the lie is. At least from my experience viewing these guys, both him and Mark Carney, they're the same. Even Justin Trudeau. You know, Justin Trudeau is able to give a flawless speech if it's something he truly understands, something he knows, and something he's not lying about. But anytime he started lying, Monkey Trudeau would come out. He just couldn't help himself. These guys are exactly the same.
Committee.
But you approved this. You approved this transaction.
Let me reiterate. That's okay. Let me finish. You keep, and let me finish to answer the question.
So the reason why he snapped there is because he's in the middle of telling a lie. This guy's a rampant liar. He's a serial liar. He's been lying in the House of Commons every single day. When he first started, he had his paper. He was reading out. He was very comfortable. Now his true personality is coming out. We hear him snapping back against conservatives as being conspiracy theorists. When things are proven by documents, by fact, by Brookfield's own COO. So right now he is trying to get through this. He's trying to tell a lie. And with Corey pressing him, that's why he snapped. He's under high stress here. This is very common behavior for someone under high stress because he knows he can't say the wrong thing right now or he might be in big trouble.
All of the management of the entity that is managing these activities are based in Canada. But 95% of the every employee is in Canada. But 95%. So are you against any American company operating in Canada? I don't think that's consistent with the conservative.
It's consistent with the Elbows Up campaign you just ran.
Elbows Up means lots of things. Elbows Up means
do you think this was a national interest then?
You're not letting me finish. Can I please finish?
No, I only have a limited amount of time.
Well, let me finish that.
He's like, no, this is my time. Answer the question, fool.
Answering the question, please. Elbows Up means negotiating with all of the countries in the world, doubling our exports, creating alternatives to Americans. That's what we're doing.
Well, with that, sir, Canada's a world leader in the production of life-saving medical isotopes. There are concerns that the American companies engaging in a corporate raid at CNL could lead to a monopoly. This has already triggered multiple ongoing Competition Bureau investigations. Are you concerned about the Americans having a monopoly on these life-saving isotopes?
So again, your characterization is a raid is completely inaccurate. I personally have visited Darlington, where the isotopes are done, which is owned by a Canadian company, Ontario Power Generation, and I have visited Bruce Power, where those isotopes are also produced, owned by two Canadian entities, OMERS, Ontario Municipal Employees Retirement System.
Oh, yeah. This very same OMERS, as you see here, that has 2.3 million shares in Brookfield. Value of shares, $173 million. Side note, too, you can see these are all pension funds, and you can see which pension funds are invested in Brookfield. Catalytic Transition Fund, Brookfield Global Transition Fund 1, Fund 1, and Fund 1. And bombshell alert, PSP invested in Brookfield Global Transition Fund 1. I just found this. I did not know about this, which further solidifies this bombshell I dropped here. The PSP Public Sector Pension Investment Board being led up by Deborah K. Orita, the same lady that met at the Bilderberg conference with none other than Mark Carney and Chrystia Freeland in 2023. And the same lady that approved $200 million going to Entropy Carbon Capture. I should note a couple days ago, I said this company was in Squamish. I got mixed up with another company. This one's in Calgary. The other carbon capture company here that I was thinking about is this one, Carbon Engineering. They're based in Squamish. I keep getting these two mixed up. As you see, I found the ally of Mark Carney's in the PSP. We've got the ally in IMCO. We've got the ally in Lacasse here, CDPQ. The question is now, who's the ally in OMERS? Because that's a lot of shares and that's a lot of money. While he's sitting there all smug thinking that we haven't figured it out, we know exactly what they're doing here. They're leveraging pension funds to profit off the back end.
And TC Energy. But they are Canadian companies.
Then why is the Competition Bureau concerned that it's a monopoly that we're giving over to the Americans?
The competition, look, The Competition Bureau is an independent entity. It's actually not in my department. It's in ISED. So,
But they have concerns, though.
No, they're reviewing a transaction like they normally review. Look, I was in the investment banking world for my entire life. It is normal for transactions to be reviewed. Because a transaction is being reviewed, it in no way implies there's anything wrong.
Why is an investment banker the Minister of Energy for Canada? There's a question for you.
It's a normal process.
Okay. And then, so according to the Conflict of Interest Commission, or Interest and Ethics Commissioner, the latest report has Prime Minister Carney owning shares in BWXT, which is an American company leading the takeover at Canadian Nuclear Laboratories. Is also being investigated by the Competition Bureau, like I mentioned earlier. How can Canadians trust that it is not about lining an individual's pockets versus at the expense of Canadians?
You are, again, inferring something that just is simply not true. Our Prime Minister will, and always will comply with all of the ethics guidelines.
It's false. He's covering for Carney. Like, enough of this crap. I don't know why he's openly lying like this. It's so easy to fact check this. BWX Technologies. This is Mark Carney's own disclosure. Carney submitted this. He's invested in this company by his own admission. Tim Hodgson here saying, no, he's not. What are you talking about?
There is no inconsistency in what he has done. And the assertion or the innuendo that he's somehow doing something wrong is not consistent with what the ethics commissioner.
Tim Hodgson is one of the biggest slime balls in Canada right now. He's a rat. He's an absolute rat. What I think is going on here is I think people in Carney's cabinet knew that this company was going to be involved in this nuclear deal here. Not only the Darlington one, this one, but also the one we're talking about here today for its uses in cancer and medical imaging. That's why BWX Technologies, out of all of Carney's stocks that I've looked through so far, has spiked the hardest. Now you're seeing there's a big sell-off here. People are taking their profits. I mean, this thing pumped so hard, this dotted line here when Mark Carney got into office, it pumped so hard and it pumped again and it pumped again 3 times. Is this the Nancy Pelosi effect? Did they know they're going to do this? Carney obviously knew which stocks he's invested in. He had a plan. Was he telling Tim Hodgson? Was he telling other liberals in his inner circle? Did they all dump a bunch of money in here? We don't even get to see their stocks. I don't know what Tim's invested in. They won't show it to us. If it's not Tim or Doug Guzman or any of these people, then what are their wives invested in? What are their mothers, their sisters, their brothers invested in? Is it BWX Technologies? This looks like the Nancy Pelosi effect here, where Nancy Pelosi goes to a meeting, then comes out of it, invests in something, and the next day the announcement comes up, and then it blows up. Her stock returns are absolutely ridiculous. It's insider trading. At least it sure looks like it. Is that what this is? Or is this just a lucky convenience?